again. Decided to film a video when I look gross and disgusting, like always. Okay, so serious video today. I've done the warning. I'm sorry if I get emotional, but obviously this is an emotional topic to talk about. We are going to jump straight into it with the Topmans, my family. We are a family of 4. My mum, my dad, me and my older brother. We have been very close for ages, obviously, we're a family, but we've been very close to each other. We all love each other very much. And in our family, we have never dealt with death, really. Like, my mum's lost relatives, but I've never met those relatives. And since my mum and dad are originally from Kent, which is 4 hours away, they weren't very close with their relatives anyway, and nor were me and my brother with their relatives, if that makes any sense. So we do only have each other and our grandparents. So when this sort of thing happened, it was shocking. But before we get into that, let's start from the beginning. During 2016 to 2017, my dad had a pain in his, like, you can't see what I'm doing, in like this area of his body. He had that for quite a while, so he and my mum went to their friends and were like, what should we do about this? And they said, you know what, we've dealt with similar things, you should get your galled bladder out, which isn't the bladder that makes you wee. It's a bit useless, so we didn't really need it anyway, but we thought that was the cause of the pain. So he had that operation in February of 2017, so it was quite a year of pain, but he got it out and it seemed to be okay. But my dad's work consisted of him going out a lot, or going places or staying places overnight. And during this time I was like, you know what, because when we say goodnight or whatever, I always say, are you going to be here tomorrow? Will I see you in the morning? And you'll go, oh no, but I'll see you in the evening, or no, I'll see you Thursday, or whatever. But I had realised that my dad had been here like every day of every week, and I didn't really ask him those questions, and I just thought anything of it, I was like, oh, something else must be happening. During April to May is GCSE exams for my brother, and this was a stressful time for him. He had a maths tutor, and we really wanted him to nail the exam so he could do what he wants to do when he's older. And yeah, it was also my birthday in May, where me and some of my close friends went to a theme park, which was really fun. And I didn't think that would happen a year when we were planning it, or my mum was like, oh, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I was like, oh, maybe could we do this? And then she came to me and she was like, you know what, we could actually make that happen. And it was a shock, and I was like, oh, really? While at that theme park, my dad would be on a phone call somewhere, and he didn't come on many of the roller coasters, which I didn't think much of it, because most of the carriages are like 2s or 4s, and I took 3 other friends, which is 4 including me, and it was alright. So I was like, oh, maybe he just wants to get pictures or whatever. And he would go off and have a phone call, and I wouldn't know where he went until he would randomly appear again. I would be like, oh, there he is. Again, didn't think much of it. I didn't think it, I was like, oh, it might just be my mum or something, I don't know. And June to July of 2017, the UK got hit with a huge heat wave, which was great. We had a gazebo out in my garden that my dad put his desk and his computer out there, and he would do some work or whatever. We also had a paddling pool, which we had never really built up before because our cats pop it. And that was a huge family time for us. I don't think we had ever been that, like, together as a family in a while, since my brother's exams and that. It was like a best time, because I love family time anyway, and just being this close together, especially of the term of events that were coming up, which I didn't realise at the time, obviously. But it was just really nice to have that just warm feeling with your family now. Now, on the 22nd of June 2017, we had been home for a while, about like an hour, and my mum calls me and my brother downstairs to sit at the dining table. And I'm like, okay, it's me and my brother. We've probably done something. So I go to my mum, I go, oh, are we in trouble? She doesn't answer. So I think, oh, she didn't hear me. Mum, are we in trouble? She didn't answer again. So I'm like, oh God, what have we done? We're in massive trouble and I have no idea why. But my dad sits us down at the table and my mum at the end. And he looks at us and he goes, when I had my gallbladder operation taken out, they found some cancer cells. And at that moment, time froze. I broke down, I started crying, because me and my dad especially, I'm a daddy's girl, we have been really close, and just to think that this has happened in our family where nothing like this at all has ever happened before, it's heartbreaking. And I looked to my brother, who was sat next to me, and he finds it difficult to show emotion, or he rarely does it, and he started tearing up. Look over at my mum, she starts crying, my dad's voice gets all shaky, and I go, oh my God, this is real. The name of the cancer, I don't actually know it because I don't like asking about it, plus it's really long and complicated. I don't know it. But I do know that it is a rare stomach cancer that my dad has been diagnosed with. That day, my mum was like, oh, some of like her friends know and her friend's daughter knows. So I went up, I FaceTimed some of my friends and I was like, bawling my eyes out, and I was like, guys, my dad has just been diagnosed with cancer. And the next day I came into school, I walked through my tutor room and I was greeted with hugs and I immediately broke down. From the love and support, this is going to sound cheesy, but the love and support that my friends like gave me, I honestly can't thank them enough. They are all so lush, even till this day. If I do have an off day, they're the best, and they tell me, Emma, trust me, if he's gotten this far, he's going to last longer. I love you all, you're amazing. If I'm looking down, I've got notes because I didn't want to forget anything. On the 6th of September, my dad started his chemotherapy treatment for cancer, and this therapy can be brutal to people in different ways, mentally and physically, but mostly to my dad it was physically draining and mentally just depressing, really. He got annoyed, he got angry, he got sad all the time. My mum was trying to feed him the right foods, and just because he went into like a picky eater phase, and it got really difficult in our household to be happy, for all of us, especially my mum and dad. Fast forwarding to Christmas time, my dad is alive, he's happy, we're all having the best Christmas possible, because we all know that this could very well be our last Christmas as a whole family. And these days, which I found out, my dad got told by his doctor that these could be his last days during this Christmas period, which is obviously very sad, especially for my dad, knowing that his death could be coming up very soon, and knowing us as a family that this could be happening very soon. Then New Year's came along and my dad wasn't 100% anymore. He had got back to a sad, just painful self. And New Year's we didn't do the countdown with him, which really hit me hard. Not gonna lie, being down there with my mum and my brother, and we were having fun. You feel guilty that you're having fun while your dying dad is upstairs lying in bed in pain, trying to sleep it off. That's not a fun thought at all. But again, he made it through it. He made it through. Words of fun. And he's fine. Then it became, fast forwarding all the way to 2018. Whoa. 2018 July time. School had just ended and we went on holiday as a family, just an hour and a half away because my dad was driving and he can't drive that far because we don't want him to be in pain. And that week I'd never seen my dad so happy in a short amount of time. Like, us being together, laughing, having fun. There was a games room and my dad was fully involved in the activities. That made me really happy. But then got home from the holidays, and about 4 days later my dad was woke up, just stayed in the bathroom all day, gagging over the toilet. And that was like, oh my god, because being in my room, he has a really loud heaving noise and I could just hear it all day, and I was like, he's not happy. And it was about 8 o'clock at night and my mum phoned up A&E and was like, can we have a nurse over here just to check that my dad's okay? Now, this was the second emergency appointment. Back just after New Year's, my dad did get taken in emergency in case of infection because he was cold, he was shivering, and again, that was the first emergency one, so that really shook me up because I haven't dealt with anything this insane happening, and it feels impossible to know that he might not get through this, and it's just not happy. It's just not a happy time. But again, I had support from my friends, which I love loads. But anyway, second emergency appointment, and he had to wait for an ambulance. The ambulance came. He went into hospital for about a day. He was put on a drip. And then he came out. He was better again. It was just one of his meds has messed with his tummy in a wrong way. But they gave him the right meds and he got better and he was happy. We were all happy again. Then my dad's mum and dad came down and I walked through the living room and they're out in the dining room. I can just hear them talking and I hear my mum mention my dad and depression, and I sort of pause in my tracks because not only does cancer affect people physically, it is physically challenging, it can also be mentally challenging, and the mental health problems that they face with and that their family members face with do come through, and you just realise what they're going through, and it can be very hard to get through in all. And then fast forwarding to now, this is October of 2018, my dad is alive, is in pain every single day. He'll be bending over, he'll be just like hunched up in a ball, he'll be lying down, he'll be standing up, he'll have to move about, and he won't eat properly, or he can't eat properly. He can't eat as much as he used to, which has made him very, very skinny, underweight, nearly anorexic, and with winter coming up and it being very cold in the UK at the moment, it's more likely that my dad will die of hypothermia than the actual cancer, which doesn't make anything any better, does it? Recently he had a little like tubes put in to ease the pain that he's been dealing with, and that should be working, but it takes a lot of time and it's not working at the moment. It's just knowing every single day that we all wake up, we get on with our lives and we go to school, for me anyway, wake up, go to school, and that's 6 hours of my day every 5 out of 7 days a week, not seeing or spending time with my family, which I think we would 100% benefit from this. But then I need my education, which is why some days at school I might not be my best, or if I'm out with friends, or if my friends invite me out somewhere, I'll say no and I'll make up an excuse because I feel guilty that I'm not spending these time that I have left with the quality time that I spend with my family right now is the most important thing. Because I feel like when cancer does take over his body and my dad can't fight it anymore, I will regret everything. Like, I'll think back to all the friends that I went out with and made memories with and had a great time. I would regret that, and I'd think, oh, I didn't spend that with my dad and now he's gone and I can't relive that again. Because it would be days when I'm lying in bed and I'll think of when I was very young, my dad would tell me a story about a fairy called Bob, and I thought about that the other day and I just started crying because he hasn't told me that story in so long, obviously, because I'm now 13, and it's just pain not knowing that knowing that my dad might not be able to walk me down the aisle when I eventually get married, or he won't be able to see his grandchildren, or he won't see how I grow up. That's just, it's not fun to know. God, don't say I didn't want to cry on the internet. But us as a family, we take it every day as it comes. We will fight with my dad. My dad's friends have gone on sponsors runs, walks for him, and just knowing that this might sound mean to say, but my dad being in pain every single day, I would much rather him be in a better place with no pain than be just surrounded by negativity every single day and the pain just eating him out alive. Much rather I just look at him and go, if you want, you can go now, because you would be happier and it would make us happier knowing that you would be happier. So I'm going to say this as an inspirational message at the end of it, I guess. But if you do have loved ones that you love dearly, love and support them every single day, because you have no idea. That one fight that you have with your mum, stay sorry to her, because you never know what's going to happen. 1 in 2 of us get diagnosed with cancer in the UK. That's not fun to deal with at all. And you never know what someone's going through mentally. So don't suddenly surround them with just problems of your own. Think about them, ask them how their day is, and just be nice to one each other, I guess. I think I'm going to leave a link down below of donation sites or something, I don't know, just Stand Up to Cancer was recently on, and they managed to raise £24 million, which warms my heart. And just hearing other people's cancer stories as well makes you realise that you're lucky waking up every single morning, being able to do what you can do, and not having to take like 10 different pills a day just to get through the actual day. So love each other, love and be great to your family, be grateful for what you have, even though it's cliche. You never know, you might not have it soon. And just try and take every day as it comes, and try not to moan too much to other people, because you have no idea what they're going through as well. Now, this was a serious video that I'd wanted to do, which is sort of a main reason to start a YouTube channel, so I can get a voice out there to other people who may be in my situation, with a relative who has a severe illness, or just to say that the world is never going to be perfect, and there is going to be negativity, but as long as you support each other, make other people happy, it should be alright. Next video, I'm going to try and make it a really light-hearted one, and say, fuck it, people loved the first one so much that I might as well do a second one, and do ASMR part 2, because we need some happiness in our lives. Thank you for watching. Hopefully no other videos will be this depressing. Goodbye.